Well, this is Guns, Knives, Watches, and this is my multi-tool of choice. Now, going into the holiday season, people are going to be buying gifts, people are going to be doing this, that, or the other. This is the piece of tool that I always have with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in my pocket, except for when I'm sleeping. They never really honestly leave my side. And when I say that, I mean seriously. When I'm walking around the house with pajamas on, a lot of times this is in my pocket. In fact, I buy pajamas with pockets just so that I can have them. Now, my multi-tool of choice is the Swiss Tool Spirit and the Swiss Tool Spirit X. What are the differences between the two? The standard Swiss Tool Spirit, and I've only got the big tools out. I can go over the small tools, but you can look it up on the internet. The Swiss Tool Spirit has kind of a, whatever they call that, not that blade. I say it's almost like a butter knife, safety knife, something like that. It's serrated like a lot of Victorinox tools. It has scissors, a file, and a wood saw. And that wood saw I use constantly. I really honestly use it a lot. The Swiss Tool Spirit X has your standard penknife blade, and then your saw, scissors, and a metal file. The metal file, believe it or not, is the tool that I use the least out of all of these. But when you need a metal file, you need a metal file, and that's just the way it is. Why do I like these tools above all others? Well, one thing is, I like the fact that it's got just a Phillips head that's long enough, easy to use. Of course, all tools lock. They lock individually, they lock independently, and they just come out and they work. Got a nice small screwdriver. It's got another small screwdriver with a correct can opener. I really don't like Wanger's can opener. It's just the way it is. It has an awl, or whatever the hell this thing's called. I don't know, to tell you the truth. I don't use it very much. It's for messing with wood. I don't really mess with wood. If you want to talk about a tool that I use the least, that's it. Your regular screwdriver and your bottle opener. Don't use the bottle opener much. And then a small awl for drilling holes. But, sorry, that's a chisel, isn't it? But anyway, and then of course you have your jaws, wire cutters, regular pliers, needle nose, and they come to a really nice tip. And you have to forgive me, mine are dirty because I carry these things. I mainly carry this one on me normally. Swiss Tool Spirit X's, I don't quite have as many of those. Those go more in survival kits. Why? Because the standard penknife blade is easier for me to sharpen than that serrated knife, and it's just kind of the way I work. I do always make sure, though, they have a version that does not have scissors, and you actually have two blades on it. I'd rather have the scissors. Just be honest. Now, what does this little sucker weigh? Because weight is an issue, always, on anything you're going to carry, especially something you're going to carry in your pocket all the time. 7.4 ounces. 7.4 ounces for as much as this multi-tool will do, as rust resistant as it is, because it is a Victorinox, just is the absolute bang for the buck. Now, let's go over a few others, because everybody's going to sit there and say, well, we've got our favorite and this, there, or the other, and maybe you're not taking it into consideration. All of the multi-tools that I'm about to show you are ones that I've carried, used, except for one, and that's the one I'm about to show you. That's because I engrave our names on all our multi-tools, and I would rather not expose my kids and everybody to everything. This is the Juice S2. Now, the Juice S2, of course, is a Leatherman product. It has, instead of the wine bottle opener, it has a pair of scissors on it. Of course, you got your bottle opener. You got your blade. Now, this blade does not lock open. And then you've got your smaller set of pliers, and then your other little tools on the inside. And if you want to really look this up, of all the juices, this is the only one that I would really recommend is the S2. Why? Because it's got the scissors. How much does it weigh? 4.35 ounces. But there's a significance between me not having locking tools and having a large set of pliers. I mean, that's just enough for me that it matters. Might not be it matter to you. Depends on, you know, whether you make money with these tools or whether you're carrying a suit. Carrying a suit or somewhere, this is a really good option. Carrying it just, you know, EDC, doing whatever you want to do, it's a really good option. It's just not my option because I actually have to do really hard work with mine. Of course, I started out carrying multi-tools, Leathermans back in the day. I'll show you one of my old ones that I never really carried all that much because this is a Leatherman slip side clip, which has a clip on the side, and it was just one that made it through. How this one made it through not being EDC'd and carried and all that stuff, I have no earthly idea. I think at one point I actually did EDC it, but because the actual tools themselves would not really lock out, and then you had to go through and open them this, there, or the other. I think this one made it through the whole process. Haven't made that for a while. Let's go through. I'll just stack them up here kind of as we go. Of course, everybody's familiar with the SOG brand, and these SOG PowerLocks, if you're working in a kit, this, that, or the other, are a really good option because they have compound, those gears right there actually operate those jaws. And as you can see, the jaws only move about half as much as the actual handles themselves. The problem is with these are these little things right here. So if I'm going to modify one to carry, and this is not one that I carry in my kit, and I do carry one of these in my rifle kit, I'll just take those covers off of it because I might have girly little hands, but that really doesn't hurt, especially when you have that compound leverage. So it's just not messing with them is a lot better. Also, it fits together better without them there. One other thing I always do, and it costs about $5, I think they'll ship it to you for free, is I take that serrated blade off of it and I put a regular blade. I need to find the one. Should have found the one that I actually use all the time, and it's actually in my shooting kit, but it's actually a black one, and this one was easier for me to get. A really good option if you're going to have a SOG is they have these ballistic nylon sheaths. Of course, that one's compatible with a few different carry systems. Now, as far as some of the other types of tools, one really bad thing about the SOG, and I'm going to move those to the side, is its weight. About, 9 ounces. The difference between 9 ounces and 7.35 ounces isn't that much, but when you're talking about a size difference and me carrying it in my pocket and the width and everything else, the Victorinox just won out, and it's lighter. And also, if I have to use a tool on it, you have that open, it'll sometimes open multiple tools. And if I'm using a screwdriver and I want to press on it, I've got those gears there. That's the only problem with this one. Of course, they have other options. I'm just showing you what I've used. Now this one, and they've got different jaws and different this, there, the other. Whatever. They've changed them over the years. That's the SOG PowerLock. One that I've used, a boatload of the Leatherman brand, and I will never ever argue about its just durability and everything else, is the Leatherman Super Tool. Of course, it is a 10.2 ounce thing, which makes the SOG kind of feel like a lightweight. Makes it look like a lightweight too. I mean, it's a behemoth, but it'll get a lot of work done. And for the money, tool that can do a lot of work, Has replaceable cutter blades, carbide blades on it. Everything is just beefy as all get out. You know, you don't have to worry about changing the blade out. Of course, you don't have the ability to, like you do on the SOG. It's got all the tools you need. It's got this, that, or the other. It's got 2 different blades. Of course, it does not have a set of scissors on it. But this is a serious tool, and I will never ever say anything bad about it. And I've known people that have carried these things out in the field for forever. And my only thing is, you know, they're just big and heavy. And when I'm sitting my butt down on it, that I didn't have enough meat to make up for that. Great tool though. Another option that have is, of course, the Leatherman TTIs, and I'm not an expert in the whole Leatherman line brand, you know, all this stuff. Because it all gets down to little idiosyncrasies and differences. This is the Charge TTi, titanium handled, easy to open. Gosh, you got your serrated, you got your gut hook there, got your blade, S30V blade on it. A great option, and it has things like, you know, it's got small set of scissors on it, which are, you know, all you'll ever need. It has options of being able to change the bit out. The only thing I've ever had a problem with this bit driver is the length of it, where, you know, you might not be able to change this one out, but I can get to more things, because I can get, you know, down into different areas with that with that one. But you can pop that out and change the bits over, and they have little bits that you use with them and put in the carriers and all that, this, that, or the other, and they make it in different color combinations. As I said, it's a great tool. There's a black and a camo version in the Charge TTi. Here's the way in which you can carry the bits, and this is, of course, one out of this one, which I've never used, just because I'm collecting it. Got it from Cabela's. God, years ago. I don't even know if they still sell this thing. But that's just the way it works. I don't buy a whole lot of stuff from Cabela's anymore. But if you do that, I'm okay with that too. We have a Bass Pro Shop down the road, so it's just not my scene anymore. But, you know, if you can deal with the tools, some of them being inboard, some of them being outboard, some of them being here, some of them being there, I tend just not to, I hate to sit there and say this, I'm not that smart. I really need everything to where it's on the outside. I like a smaller package. You know, it's just of course, the height-wise, but it's more narrow. And, you know, however else, it's not a big deal. They're both great tools. Of course, the SOG's a little cheaper depending on where you buy it. I buy them in kind of opportunity buy situations. I've got most of mine actually from Sierra Trading Post over the last little bit. I used to buy them full price. They've got other versions of them that are really cool, that are the actual of these. Sorry, like they do the Leathermans. I mean, it's a whole subculture, man. It's the way it is. They've got different coloring variations of it. They've got this, they've got that. Either one of these tools, man. If you carry either one of them, you've got your shit straight. If I come across you and you're carrying one of those, and it's, you know, not, you know, in pristine condition, it looks like it's been worked through, more power to you. If it's even brand new, buddy, you're higher than 99% of the people in my book. As I said, this is a really good lightweight option. As I said, the only one I would carry is this Juice S2. I don't really like any of the other juices unless you want to open up a bottle of wine. And then that version is rocks. Because having a waiter tool when you have a bottle of wine out in the, you know, wherever. Of course, I'm not packing in a big glass bottle of wine, but you know the process, man. You just never know. That's why I carry that pack in the back of my truck. In the back of my car. or in the back of my truck when I go out in the truck. You know, I just never know what I'm going to get into. It's like, hell, man, I might go up, get a bottle of wine. I want to open it up, sit up on top of a mountain, become one with nature, dude. But in fact, I've done that. Sounds kind of funny, like I'm making this shit up. The super tool is a really good option. It just depends on what you want to do. But for mine, money, and money not even coming into account, because I really don't take money into account when I'm talking about something that I carry with me every day. My life is dependent on it. My income is dependent on it. My everything is dependent on it. The one that stands out to me the most and the easiest for me to use, because I've got so much stuff going on in my life, is the Victorinox Swiss Tool Spirit and Swiss Tool Spirit X. I cannot state how important it is of a piece of kit to me, my family, and, you know, it's so important. I carry one in my pocket. I have one in my backpack. So if I walk out the door with two of them, I'm fine with that, because I've deployed one tool on one and one tool on the other, and it saved me time before in doing some different work, because I got a knife out and a screwdriver out, or I'm using a pair of pliers and a screwdriver, or this or that, and da da da. But I mean, so if I'm carrying two, hey, that's just a bonus. It's a win-win. It's Guns, Knives, Watches, and have a good one.